All right, you guys know we got Northern Iowa coming into town here on Saturday, and obviously they're a very good football team. They've had tremendous success in the Missouri Valley. Coach Farley's done an outstanding job. I think the glaring thing to me is last year he had lost some seniors. Going into this year, there was probably some question marks about some positions, and you can see that he is recruited very well. And I think when you have success, it makes it easier for you to recruit. Their program's in a position where they can reload every year, next man in, and it's not very hard to see that they have a good football team. They've had two difficult games with Wisconsin and Iowa there, but they played very well in both games, and physically were impressive. And we look forward to having them here at our place for a home game on 7 o'clock on Saturday night. It'll be a rocking and rolling environment. Hopefully we'll be nice and loud on third down, and look for a great game.
Coach Kurt's up for homecoming game.
Yeah, I didn't.
Any advice for him in the voting process here?
No. You know how those quarterback guys are. Those guys get a lot of attention, so he'll probably just get it by just being a quarterback. But I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff like you guys do.
Just facing Northern Iowa. Obviously, this is a game us on this side have probably been looking to, but now you guys can approach it. How important is it? I know it's the next game on the schedule, but considering the past, with everything and having not beat them in 11 years, what it is, I mean, is it more magnified or not?
I mean, like as far as pressure or stress, no. There's no more pressure or stress than I put on myself every day. I walk in this office, I see 4 national championship trophies. I put more pressure on myself than anyone ever can. Our football team, I'll handle the stress. You guys go play and do your job. We'll give you a game plan to win. All you got to do is execute it, and it's really that simple. It's time for us to dig a new river. Everyone has a past. There is a past. It's like a dirty $100 bill. It's still worth money. You're still going to use it, but might not be crisp and clean. But we're going to dig a new river, and that's what our approach is. Every year is a different year. Every game's a different game, and last 2 times out we fell short late, and our intention is just to obviously have a great week of practice, make sure we're mentally prepared, and then starting Thursday evening, start getting ourselves physically and mentally ready to play.
I'm not sure I get those analogies, the dirty money.
Well, if you're walking through a parking lot and you saw a $100 bill down, and it was all dirty and grimy, and sure it's had a bad past and probably hasn't been treated very right or had very good fortune, it still has value and it's still worth something. So my point is looking forward, that is the past, but there's still been some value as far as to us, those experiences we've had, and we're going to dig a new river this year. It's our time to channel the water a different direction.
Coach Mark yesterday seemed a little disgruntled. He's 1-2. His backs are against the wall. Pretty much saying it's a must-win situation. I know you want to win every game, but is it a must-win situation for you?
No, it's not a must-win situation. I think when you, just my opinion, all that pressure, putting all your eggs in one basket, what happens if the basket spills over? Coach Farley is probably a little different than I am when it comes to media, and hey, everyone has their own way. He's been very successful, and it's an exciting game for him also. Get a chance to come in here and play us, and I'm sure they have tremendous confidence. So, he can act concerned, but I'm sure that that football team has a lot of confidence when it comes to playing Youngstown State.
How important is it for your team to have a short memory if there's a bad play Saturday that they got to let it go and get ready for the next
Well, we talk about that all the time. The thing is you just don't want to have too many of those plays. And when you start getting over the 4 or 5 range, it's going to be a problem. 4 or 5 plays in every game that determine the outcome. The problem is you don't know which one of those 4 or 5 plays it's going to be. But you know, confidence factor, I think the edge goes to them. You know, home crowd, home field advantage goes to us. 2 football teams playing. I mean, we're going to see. You know, we'll see what happens.
One of the things that I guess might concern you last week is, you know, they really maybe get your, especially your secondary, out of position, I think, on some plays and use some misdirection. I mean, how do you address that this week?
Well, I think, you know, first of all, each game is different, specifically. You know, Albany was a run-first team, you know, going into the game. And I felt like, you know, with some of the motions and things, I had talked about trick plays and play action big balls, and those were the plays. So it was a learning experience that you can't just always be focused on 100% stopping the run because play action pass is coming. And just like in any football game, you know, we can tell guys on the sideline, you know, the first couple of times you get beat on a slant or you're out of position, you know, what's the next play they're going to call when they need a play? What would it be? It would be a slant and go. That's just part of being ahead of the game. And that's the step that we, as players, have to understand. You know they're going to run the slant and go next time they need a play. They're coming to it. You know, and you tell them. But we got to go out and execute it because one play sets up another.
Not to give away too much, but it seemed like your game plans were a little vanilla over the last 2 weeks. Was that by design?
You know, I think every game's different. You know, I think you hold things for certain teams. You know, and that's why you have off-season film study. That's why we spend all that time in the summer preparing for opponents, studying other games, and visiting with other people about continuing to have wrinkles in what you do. And you know, you have to have a wide open playbook, and you can't do the same things over and over again and expect a different result, you know, if you're not having success. So, you know, depending on what you expect a team to do to you, you play to their strengths, and then you got to get ready for their counterpunch.
Coach, when you looked at the schedule on paper, was this the game that jumped out at you as far as the league game?
Well, they all kind of jump out as far as, you know, I think there's a large group of teams in the league that are really, really good, you know, and they're good in different ways, you know. Northern Iowa's been able to recruit great, sustain success time in and time out. North Dakota State has a big, mauling type football team, you know, and then you got Illinois State, who I thought at the end of the year was playing as good as defense as anybody, you know. We played them early in the year last year, you know, and you got South Dakota State, who's always very scrappy, very well coached, difficult place to play, you know, and then you got Indiana State, you know, their running back has got, you know, 500 yards a game rushing. So it's a situation where there's a whole bunch of teams that are doing really well right now.
Is it tough to wait on Saturday to play this game at night?
No, because I think the night game atmosphere in Standby Stadium is very electric. You know, we walk through that tailgate lot. I think it'll be 4:45, something like that, and this place is going to be revved up. It's going to be electric atmosphere. I've always kind of liked sitting around a little bit during the day and just getting your mind right. We'll have some walkthroughs. We'll have breakfast. You know, we'll be eating one time. A good breakfast there, some walkthroughs, a little bit of meeting time, just to kind of stay focused. You know, I don't think we're going to have to worry about being ready to play. You know, it's a big game.
Coach, you talked about what to expect. Kurt said one thing about the Northern Iowa defense you can predict is expect the unexpected. How do you prepare for the unexpected?
Well, you know, they've been probably more active against us than other people in the past. You know, and you know, that's what they feel like they have to do. you know, and so that's something that we've kind of realized is trying to stay a step ahead of the game as far as people's game plan, as far as movements, and bringing pressure to create problems for us. The good thing is we get quite a bit of that in practice every day, so we're used to it. And you know, we've got a fairly veteran group of players out there that are playing that you know, have a good idea of what's going on. You know, whether it's corner blitz, field blitz, inside pressure, twists, or games. You know, we've seen all those things, and you have to expect that every play because something's coming.
What sort of base points and coverage do you expect them to show you this week?
Well, I'm not going to talk about that really because you know, that'd be giving away just too much right now. I mean, I expect them to be in a four-man front, obviously, but coverage-wise, that'll be something that it'll deviate depending on down and distance, but they could very easily change.
Do you need more from your receivers and your tight ends than you got maybe last week?
You know, I mean, other than just making the plays that are out there, you know. You know, I know Will Shaw's obviously disappointed in the one play that he had there, and you know, Stubbs catches that bubble screen, it's a touchdown. So I mean, we probably left 21 points on the field, you know, and can't leave points on the field.
Peterman okay after taking that whack on the onside?
You know, Peterman's going to be a day-to-day decision. So he told me yesterday, he says, you know, I'll be fine, I'll be ready to play. He's a tough guy. He'll go play today, you know. But I don't know exactly how that'll unfold.
Other health issues?
No other health issues. We'll actually have Cracker back, Keone's back, so we should be back at full strength on the defensive line. So.
How much of an impact can the fans have in a game like this?
Well, I think third down's huge, you know, when they're trying to communicate, you know, it's loud out there, and I think the defense, obviously, you know, when the crowd's excited, they get excited. You know, the fans and the crowd, I guess, it's like the fuel for an engine, you know, and, you know, when they're revved up and going, that gets you going. I mean, there's nothing like on third down when the place is rocking, you know. And we have a great fan base, and we're getting the hang of it on third down, you know. And hopefully we'll be the loudest we've ever been.
Coach, do you ever envision doing what Northern Iowa did this year, playing two Big Ten schools or two games like that caliber?
I don't know, you know, if it'll ever get to that. You know, I am involved in the scheduling. You know, it's a situation where if the money's probably right, you know, you got to do it. But that's something that I don't know if we'll have to do, but we very well could. You know, I mean, if somebody wants to write you a check for $1 million to come play them, it's pretty tough to turn down. You know, one guy don't turn that down would be you.
I guess to kind of go off that, I mean, you talked about how your schedule doesn't do you any favors. I mean, just looking on the outside of Northern Iowa, their first 5 games are pretty brutal.
Yeah, you know, their schedule is a difficult one, you know, but when I watched them on film, you can see that they were physically ready for those games. I mean, that focus was started back in January when they were hitting the weight room. They matched up physically with 2 Big Ten teams that are known for being physical. You know, that's the impressive thing to me is I played Iowa and I've played Wisconsin, and I know what they're all about on the line of scrimmage, and they matched up with them. So, you know, you take 2 of the more physical football teams in the Big Ten, historically, line them up, and they go out and play well on the line of scrimmage, then that tells me that they're a physical group. And they physically developed. They physically look different on film up front, which is to be expected. I mean, that's part of having a program.
To what degree do you think you've matched that growth physically and your ability to match up with them?
I've been impressed thus far, you know. Regardless, you know, I think we've made a lot of physical improvements, and you know, the whole thing has our physical improvements been enough, you know? And we'll find out Saturday.
Is this a rivalry game? Do
Uh,
you look at it that way, or?
Not really, you know. I see a rivalry games like the Browns or, I guess I can't even use Browns or Steelers. I'm looking more of like a game that's back and forth, you know what I mean? Maybe, you know, if we were closer maybe or something, you know, but like North Dakota State, at least our games have been back and forth. They've been so dominant and had so much success against us that I don't see us being a rivalry to them, you know. That's why I feel like they have such an edge, you know. Coach Farley can say what he wants, but I know that his team has confidence when it comes to playing Youngstown State.